Here's my question to you. Do you want to be a successful leader? I think if you're watching this channel, that's gotta be a silly question. So I've got a bunch of stuff that you need to work on or that you should have incorporated into your leadership style that will help you be a success. Welcome to the channel Leadership with Mike. On this channel, I help new managers become more confident leaders with no nonsense sense and a membership we're going to talk about because we're getting to the final hours, if that makes any sense. Listen, you're watching a channel like this because you want to succeed. You want to be a great supervisor, a great manager, and a great leader. So let's talk about a few things that the greats have going for them. First, if you want to be a highly successful leader, you have to learn how to make your team comfortable speaking up. Now, maybe you've been in meetings where if anybody says anything, it's a problem. They get shot down by upper management. They get shot down by the team lead. That can't be. You need to make people feel comfortable to share their opinions, to share their objections. It has to, of course, be in a respectful manner. They can't just say, no, that's a stupid idea. But you want to welcome ideas coming, because here's the news flash for you. You won't, you don't, and you can't know everything. The best part about having a team is having other people's ideas, and maybe they see something that you don't. So you want to make sure that your team feels comfortable and confident when they deliver something to you, when they share information. The last thing that you want is a bunch of yes men, a bunch of yes women. You need people that are comfortable sharing and saying, oh, have we thought of this? Should we consider that? You need to make that an opportunity. Next, the greats. They know how to make decisions. Some people have a hard time making a decision, and therefore they don't make a decision. And I'm going to tell you something. It's a little secret. If you do not make a decision, that is a decision. And I promise you, 9 times out of 10, that will not work in your favor. Yeah, you're going to get lucky once in a while. But actively make a decision. Weigh the pros and cons. Try to get as much information that you can and know that you will not be right 100% of the time. But the idea of making a decision is your right decision. Great leaders are great at sharing their expectations. There is nothing worse than working for a boss that you don't even know what they want. You don't even know if you're winning. Like, am I doing what needs to be done? So the great leaders are able to share with their staff, with their team. Listen, these are my expectations of this assignment, of this job, of your employment. And when people know what their expectations are, majority of the time, they will reach them. Don't be afraid to make your expectations just a little bit higher than what you'd hope for. Because if you make the bar too low, your staff's going to reach it. And if you make the bar too high, they're going to try to reach it. So keep that in mind. Make sure that your expectations are communicated clearly. The next thing is the great leaders are firm, but they're fair. Listen, when we are enforcing rules, when we're the boss, we love rules. But come on, at home, do you really love the rules, or do you try to bend some because you're like, they don't apply to me? That's the same mentality that your staff have. They're not going to want to follow all the rules, but it's your job to make sure that you are firm in what your beliefs are, what the expectations are, what the rules of the day-to-day are. It's your job to be firm, but it's also your job and your responsibility to be fair. That means that if there needs to be some give to help somebody out, that you, as a person, you think about this. You consider what it would be like if you were in their shoes. That's how you make fair decisions. Again, we have rules, we have expectations, and those are black and white. But our lives do not fall into black and white, yes and no's. There is a large gray area in between there. And that is where you need to exercise fairness. Moving on, you need to continue being a student. Like I said before, you're never going to know everything. You can't know everything. It literally is impossible to know everything. So you want to keep learning. That means the best leaders are diving into books. The best leaders are going to seminars. They're getting training. They're joining the membership, link in description, and I'm going to tell you more about it because we're running out of time to get you signed up. But the best leaders are always learning more, whether it's specifically about your industry, about your job, or it's how to deal with people, how to get a promotion. They're just absorbing as much knowledge as they can. The moment you stop learning is the moment you stop growing, which is the moment you will be overlooked for promotions. You will be overlooked for new jobs. Do not let yourself get comfortable. To follow up, point number 6 that the best leaders know how to do or continue to do is they have continuous feedback. Meaning, they're not waiting until the year end to do an employee evaluation, an employee report card. They're having conversations with their staff monthly at least. And that feedback, it's not just the leader giving the team member feedback. The best leaders know to allow the team member to give themselves feedback, because that's how we build trust and respect. Communication needs to go 2 ways. Of course, there's going to be a time where you have to tell the employee certain things and you have to give them feedback on their job. But you also need to make sure that you are open to feedback, because we ain't perfect. The next thing that the great leaders do is they ask questions. And they ask it in a manner of, listen, you're my team, which means you're my counsel. This is what I'm up against. This is my thought process. What are your opinions on this? And I'm not saying that everything has to come down to a vote and you have to put it all on the table and let your employees decide, because that's not going to work well. But at the same time, you can't be afraid to share what you don't know, to ask for outside counsel, to ask people to say, listen, this is what we're thinking of doing. What's your opinion? It does not mean that you have to take that opinion, but the best of the best, they have that opinion and they consider it. And again, that's something that builds trust and respect in the workplace, and that makes the job easier. This is one that I find, at least the managers or the supervisors that I worked with, they had a hard time with it. Have a good attitude. Don't have a, it's past my pay grade kind of attitude. Don't have a, do I look like I care kind of attitude. It's not my department attitude. Have a good attitude. Be somebody who's supportive. Be somebody that your team, your coworkers, your other managers, that they can come to you because they know, listen, Mike's generally in a good mood. So let me reach out to him. By having that good attitude, that good mood feel, it makes the idea of communicating with you that much easier. Now, am I telling you that you have to be sunshine and rainbows all day, every day? Absolutely not. But you need to, 1, do your best to control the downs, and 2, just have a conscious effort that you are typically on a pretty even keel. You're on that good attitude spectrum. If you're up and down, your staff are not going to trust that they can come to you and speak freely or openly to you, because they're not sure, is he in a pissed off mood today again, or are we on that up train? So try to have the best attitude that you can, ready to go. This one, I think, should rate very high on leaders, managers, supervisors, is that you need to be problem solvers. You're not always the one doing the work, but you might have to be the one putting out fires, solving the problems as they come. Will you be right all the time? Absolutely not. But you want to build a reputation that your staff, your colleagues, the executives that have hired you, that they know if there's a problem, they can bring it to you and you have the mindset that you will solve the problem. It may be a quick fix, or it may be something that you need time to sit and digest the information at hand, but it ties into making decisions, solving the problem that has to be solved by somebody. It might as well be you, and that's going to help you stand out as the go-to person. I think this list is very important for you to understand that not once did I say that you technically had to be the best. These are all things that as people, we want to have our supervisors have. We want our staff to feel comfortable doing. It's talking to people. If you're a manager, you're managing people and systems. So this isn't overly difficult. It just takes time to get to understand the ins and outs of how. And that's something that I want to emphasize. If you're considering joining the No Nonsense Leadership Academy, today is the day. This is the last day you have to get in and be a founding member. That means this is the last day that you get the founder member pricing. It's the last day I'm throwing in my Delegation 101 course. That's a $300 value. This is the last day that I'm offering you having a one-on-one chat to discuss what your hopes and expectations are of the membership as we build it together. This is your last chance to get in on the ground floor. I will, of course, open the membership up again. When? I'm not positive, but it will never be at this level. This is for founding members. So if you're on the fence, today is the day to shit or get off the pot. You're either in or you're out. I want you to think about that, consider it. Check the link in the description to learn more about how to get in. I'll see you in the next video, my friend. Cheers.